You heard of me?
I'm a product of evolution, Damien. I'm supposed to terrorize the herd.
You said it got intense on set, right? He purposely wanted to get that emotion going, right?
You know, there was some intense moments on the set. So if you see right here under my nose, I got a cut right here under my nose. That's like, Shia blessed me with that. I'm gonna have to get stitches.
This is your home now. This is where you're from. You know, you're from London. This is you're from Edinburgh now. You know, you live here. You're gonna live here for ages. Right. That's your
Shia LaBeouf has always been one of Hollywood's most unpredictable actors. You've seen him in Transformers Holes and Indiana Jones. But what if I told you he wasn't just playing tough guys on screen? What if he was actually dangerous in real life? Whether it's pulling his own tooth out for a role or going full method to the point of insanity, the guy lives his characters.
I went to the grip department, I got like some pliers and I ripped my tooth out and spit blood all over the mirror.
He went all in. He didn't just hang out with gang members. He got jumped in. He didn't just wear fake tattoos. He inked his entire chest with actual gang symbols.
Tattoos, or are they real?
No, this is, yeah, they're real.
But what a lot of people didn't know is that he didn't just act like a gangster. He was already living that life before Hollywood ever knew his name. So how did a Disney Channel child star go from Hollywood to the streets? And how did he become so deeply connected to one of LA's most notorious gangs that even the streets had to take him seriously? Let's rewind. Before the fame, scandals, and blockbuster movies, there was just a kid named Shia LaBeouf, born on June 11, 1986, in Los Angeles, California. But this wasn't the glamorous side of LA. This was Echo Park in the late 80s and early 90s, a neighborhood that was nothing like the gentrified area you see today. Back then, Echo Park was overrun with gangs, drugs, and violence. Shia was an only child, raised by his mother, a former ballet dancer and fabric saleswoman, and his father, a Vietnam War veteran who battled heroin addiction. While his mother struggled to keep the family afloat, his father was unpredictable, sometimes selling drugs, sometimes performing as a clown, but never really providing the stability a kid needed. When Shia was just 5 years old, his parents split up. And if that wasn't chaotic enough, Shia grew up right in the middle of CYS, West Side Crazies territory, one of Echo Park's most feared Latino and Filipino gangs. Their rivals? The Echo Park Locos is just a few blocks away. His home was right between Echo Park and Silver Lake, but the moment you crossed Glendale Boulevard, you were in rival territory, Echo Park Locos. That meant every day was a potential war zone. Drive-bys, fights, ambushes, it was just part of life. Shia wasn't just some kid living in a bad neighborhood. He became part of it. He shaved his head, wore oversized white tees, and talked like the local cholos. But there was one problem. He was one of the only white kids in a predominantly Latino gang environment. That made him a target. Despite the violence around him, Shia never saw himself as poor or disadvantaged. In his words, "I didn't know anything else." But everything changed when his family got evicted. At just 9 years old, he and his mother were forced to move to Tujunga, a rough area near the San Fernando Valley known for its biker gangs. And guess what? His father was rumored to be tied to the Mongols, one of America's most feared outlaw motorcycle gangs. Shia went from gang territory to biker gang territory. Chaos was all he knew. But one trip would change the course of his life forever. Despite the chaos, Shia had a gift: acting. When Shia was 10, he and his father took a trip to Malibu. It was supposed to be a simple day of surfing, but instead, Shia stumbled across stand-up comedy at a bar called the Ice House. His father saw an opportunity. He got Shia up on stage, and the kid killed it. With his rough upbringing, he knew how to shock an audience, and Hollywood started paying attention. Shia didn't wait for an agent to find him. He hustled his way in. He grabbed a phone book, called every agent he could find, and pretended to be his own manager using a fake British accent, and it worked. By the time he was 12, he landed a starring role on Even Stevens, beating out 2,600 other kids and eventually becoming a household name. From there, his career skyrocketed. Shia then moved in with his father, who followed him to movie sets as his guardian. And offset, Shia would attend AA meetings with his dad to support his recovery. His fame grew gradually. His first movie role in Holes in 2003 became a surprise hit. From there, he skyrocketed into blockbuster fame, starring in Constantine alongside Keanu Reeves, in the Transformers series alongside Megan Fox, and even landing a role in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which earned over $800 million. Solidifying his status as an A-lister, Shia had officially made it. He went from the streets to starring alongside legends like Harrison Ford. His performance in Transformers grossed over $700 million, cementing his status as one of Hollywood's most promising young stars. He was on top of the world, but success didn't tame his inner demons, it only made them more dangerous. But the chaos from his childhood, it never really left. With fame came self-destruction.
That innocent dude who came into the industry with all this wild, wide-eyed wonderment, that disappeared pretty quick. I remember calling my manager and saying, like, what do you mean? I'm God.
Shia LaBeouf's time in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was far from smooth sailing. What should have been a career-defining role as Mutt Williams, Indiana Jones's rebellious son, turned into one of the most controversial moments of his career. After the movie's release, Shia did the unthinkable. He openly trashed the film in multiple interviews. He blamed director Steven Spielberg and called the script weak, saying he felt like he dropped the ball with his performance. Instead of taking responsibility, he implied that Spielberg, one of the greatest directors of all time, had made a subpar movie. To make matters worse, he criticized his legendary co-star Harrison Ford, saying Ford wasn't fully invested in the project. Ford, known for his no-nonsense attitude, later fired back, calling Shia a effing idiot for speaking out against the film. While Shia has since expressed regret over his handling of the situation, the damage had already been done. As expected, Shia LaBeouf could not proceed with Indiana Jones 5. He went from being one of the industry's rising stars to someone Spielberg refused to work with again. After Indiana Jones 4, Shia's career started spiraling downward, although Shia starred in the second and third Transformers movies, which became box office hits but were also criticized. Eventually, he grew tired of the robot franchise and wanted to move on. By 2012, he was getting arrested, feuding with other actors, and displaying increasingly erratic behavior. Shia's addiction to drugs and alcohol was spiraling out of control. Shia had grown disillusioned with the industry. He called out Hollywood, trashed his movies, and walked away from big-budget films to chase more artistic projects. But as he sought more meaning, his behavior became increasingly unpredictable. Shia's first major public conflict occurred when he was fired from his Broadway debut in Orphans, after a highly publicized fallout with co-star Alec Baldwin.
I think because me and Alec had tension as men. Not as artists, but as men. I think in a room, that became a hard thing to deal with, you know, and when you got tension as men, that's tough.
While Shia's complaints about Baldwin were later validated, his combative approach alienated him from the theater community. This marked the beginning of a series of controversies that would soon define his career. His descent into madness became national news when he wore a paper bag over his head at the Nymphomaniac film premiere 2013, scrawled with the words, "I am not famous anymore." During his "I'm not famous anymore" phase, he intentionally distanced himself from Hollywood's spotlight.
Can I take the bag off your head? Wow. Okay. It's you.
He once embarked on an eccentric art project that involved spending 3 days inside an elevator, where fans could ride with him and engage in conversation. For 3 days, the elevator became a stage for raw, unfiltered exchanges, all while Shia's actions were a bold commentary on fame, identity, and the public's obsession with celebrities. Public fights, drunken arrests, bizarre art performances. Was he a genius, a madman, or was something much darker at play? Shia's behavior became increasingly erratic. Allegations of plagiarism marred his creative works, particularly surrounding his short film HowardCantor.com in 2013, which was accused of copying from a 2007 graphic novel, Ghost World, created by Dan Clowes. The film even began with a monologue taken verbatim from the graphic novel. He later removed the film from all platforms and apologized. His apologies, however, were soon exposed as insincere, further tarnishing his public image. People even discovered that his tweets, apologies, and responses were lifted word for word from copies from other people. Really weird. His increasingly erratic actions led to public disturbances and legal troubles, suggesting more profound personal struggles related to addiction and mental health. At one point, Shia struggled to land acting roles, not because of a lack of talent, but because he was simply too crazily good at his craft. Let me explain. While filming Fury in 2013 alongside Brad Pitt, Shia's method of acting took a bizarre turn. One day, Shia went to the set, grabbed a pair of pliers, and pulled out his own tooth, spilling blood everywhere. The director was initially furious, but Brad Pitt and the rest of the cast were so impressed with Shia's dedication to the role that they convinced the director to keep him on the project. Shia's immersion in his character's pain and suffering made him stand out, but it also made him difficult to work with. But it didn't stop there. During the boot camp for Fury, Shia's behavior took another turn. He started getting aggressive, showing up without showering for weeks to stay in character, and his commitment to his role went a bit too far. In one memorable incident, Shia nearly started a fight with Brad Pitt when another actor, Scott Eastwood, spit in the tank they were filming in. Seeing Brad upset, Shia escalated the situation, calling out Scott in a way that made the whole crew uncomfortable. Brad Pitt later admitted the conflict was scripted, but the tension Shia created on set was undeniable. But it didn't stop there. Shia's reckless behavior escalated. Bar fights, public urination, and violent altercations. What started as a performance quickly turned sinister, with people taking advantage of his vulnerability. His wasn't performance art. This was a man spiraling out of control.
You seem to have gone crazy since the last time I saw you. Is that
does seem that way, doesn't it? Yeah.
Then came 2017. His lowest point. Shia was arrested for public drunkenness and disorderly conduct in Georgia. The body cam footage went viral, showing him hurling insults and acting completely unhinged.
I f***ed up bad, like crash and burn type a lot of people.
After being arrested for public drunkenness and disorderly conduct in Georgia, Shia checked into rehab in 2017, and that's when things got real. For the first time, he publicly admitted he had PTSD triggered by his violent childhood. Shia's struggles continued to manifest in multiple arrests for disorderly conduct and other offenses. His chaotic lifestyle and media attention painted a picture of an actor unraveling. He was sentenced to 100 hours of community service and 1-year probation and was court-ordered to enter a drug rehab facility. Shia entered rehab and expressed a desire to overcome his personal demons. During this time, he penned the script for Honey Boy in 2017, a semi-autobiographical film that explored his troubled past and his complicated relationship with his father.
So I started writing all these dark chapters, of my life, and it wound up being this script form thing. Sent it to my friend, became a movie.
Honey Boy provided a window into Shia's inner world, garnering sympathy for him and straining his relationship with his father, who felt misrepresented.
We weren't on good terms, so I lied to him and told him, hey, Mel Gibson's gonna play you, son, right here.
Despite this, Shia acknowledged the creative liberties he took in the film, illustrating the tension between personal truth and artistic license.
And I turned the knob up on certain shit that wasn't real. My dad never hit me. Never. He spanked me once, one time.
Shia's journey to recovery was marred by further setbacks. He was removed from multiple productions due to his combative behavior and continued to face legal issues. These troubles underscored the ongoing turbulence in his personal life and the challenges he faced in maintaining his career. But just when everyone thought Shia was done, he made a move that shocked Hollywood in another blockbuster movie, The Tax Collector. Yes, you got that right. That was when Shia finally went too far. If Hollywood ever doubted his toughness, well, now they know the truth. In 2019, Shia was cast as Creeper, a ruthless enforcer in The Tax Collector. The role required him to be a cold-blooded gangster working for a cartel, collecting debts from gangs.
This is Creeper.
You heard of me?
Directed by David Ayer, the film features Shia in a deeply disturbing role. He plays Creeper, a tattooed, violent enforcer working for a crime lord. While the role itself was intense, Shia's off-screen behavior during the production drew significant attention. Most actors would do research, maybe spend some time with former gang members. But Shia, he lived it. He went back to Echo Park, back to his old neighborhood, and instead of playing the role, he became it. Shia got into Harpies 13, one of L.A. S most feared Mexican-American gangs. He got real gang tattoos, including Creeper across his stomach and Harpies 13 symbols on his body. And here's where things get crazy. Shia wasn't just hanging out with gang members to better understand his role as the tax collector. He even got his put on, a term signifying official acceptance into the gang. Conejo, also known as G Rabbit, is a well-known member of Harpies 13 and Shia's co-star member. He publicly co-signed his affiliation.
Hey, Creeper. Hey, Creeper. Come here real quick. Say what's up.
What's up?
Bang, 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 bang.
Immersing himself in a dangerous lifestyle. In preparation for his role, Shia reportedly went to extreme lengths to practice method acting. He reportedly immersed himself in the lifestyle of his character, associating with real gang members and engaging in behavior that blurred the line between acting and reality. Shia was hanging out with gang members, participating in gang activities, and reportedly even got jumped in to prove his dedication to the gang lifestyle. His actions led to a growing sense of unease among the film's crew, who were concerned for his safety and the potential impact on the production. His affiliation with a real gang raised alarms about his mental state and the potential consequences of his personal choices. This blurred the lines even further, leading many to believe that Shia was losing control, both professionally and personally. The culmination of these behaviors off-screen, alongside the intense violence depicted in The Tax Collector, showcased a troubling pattern. It revealed a man who seemed to be spiraling, someone whose on-screen intensity wasn't confined to his roles but was seeping into his real life, contributing to the perception that Shia was a dangerous individual. Let that sink in. A Hollywood star had officially become part of a real-life criminal organization. If you didn't know, the Harpies 13 HPS gang has been active in Los Angeles for decades, operating primarily in the West Adams district of South Central LA. Originally a football team, the gang was formed in the 1960s. Their territory stretches from Washington to Jefferson between Hoover and Normandy, an area known for its deep-rooted gang activity. They are affiliated with the Sureños, Sur 13, and are known for their long-standing rivalry with other gangs, including the Rolling 20s Bloods, with whom they share parts of their barrio. The Harpies gang has a reputation for violence, and extortion, maintaining a strong influence in the LA underworld. Over the years, the gang has been tied to Mexican cartels, and its members are often involved in high-profile criminal activity. Rapper Conejo, who played a satanic enforcer for the Mexican cartel in The Tax Collector, recently opened up about how wild things got on the movie set. He described a scene where emotions were already running high, lights on, cameras rolling, when suddenly, things turned real. Shia got so deep into character that he cut Conejo under the nose in the middle of a take. Blood everywhere.
While we're filming, so if you see right here under my nose, I got a cut right here under my nose. That's like Shia blessed me with that. I remember I had to get stitches. I didn't get the stitches because I was like, nah, let's.
The guy needed stitches but refused to get them. Why? Because they were so locked into the moment, so deep into the scene, that they just patched it up with makeup and kept going. You might call him crazy for his method of acting, but he also liked giving back. In 2018, alongside Bobby Soto and Dante Johnson, Shia co-founded the Slauson Rec Theater Company in the Pueblos, a low-income housing complex controlled by the Pueblo Bishop Bloods. The goal? To give local kids an alternative to gang life through acting and creative expression. Shia's personal life also mirrored the storm of his career, a whirlwind marriage to actress Mia Goth, followed by a tumultuous relationship with musician FKA Twigs. But it wasn't just the high-profile relationships that defined his life. These were relationships steeped in conflict, reflective of his battles. Shia LaBeouf's marriage to actress Mia Goth was a significant chapter in his personal life, marked by both unconventional choices and emotional complexity. The couple first met while filming Nymphomaniac in 2012, and a deep connection characterized their relationship, though it was often tumultuous. Despite the ups and downs, Shia and Mia married in an unexpected Las Vegas ceremony in 2016, showcasing their desire for a more unconventional and private life. Their marriage, however, wasn't without its challenges. Their relationship became the subject of public scrutiny due to Shia's erratic behavior and the ongoing personal struggles he was facing at the time. This included his battles with addiction and mental health, which played a role in the dynamic between the couple. In 2018, they separated but continued to stay intertwined in each other's lives. The real turning point came in December 2020, when FKA Twigs, his ex-girlfriend, and two other prior partners publicly accused him of physical and emotional abuse. This wasn't just another Hollywood scandal. It was a reckoning. The charming, eccentric actor was now being exposed as something far more sinister.
I'd have stayed there, I would kill her.
The lawsuit was a bombshell. Twigs detailed horrifying accounts of abuse, including allegations that he knowingly gave her an STD, physically harmed her, and psychologically tormented her. This wasn't the erratic, misunderstood artist. This was someone dangerous. But Shia wasn't hiding from his past. In an unprecedented move, he acknowledged his abusive behavior and sought help. He entered rehabilitation, committing to taking accountability for his actions and growing as a person.
I need to be useful.
After retreating from the spotlight, Shia returned to acting in Padre Pio, but this time he was a different man.
We're making a film, me, Abel Ferrer, and Willem Dafoe are making a movie called Padre Pio, about the great Padre Pio.
His transformation went beyond the screen. He found solace in his newfound faith, converting to Catholicism. With each step, he became more focused on self-improvement. In March 2020, he got back with his wife Mia Gott, who he now describes as a real one, and the couple welcomed a daughter named Isabella in 2022.
And I've never known anything as loving or as selflessly active as what this woman did for me in my life. She showed up for me at
Today, he claims to be on a path to healing, working on personal growth and giving back to the communities he once immersed himself in. But for many, the damage has already been done. His violent outbursts, extreme behavior, and troubling past have left a trail of controversy that overshadows even his most impressive performances.
If you can tap into how you can use your suffering to help other people, that is maximum joy.
But one thing is certain, Shia LaBeouf is not just an actor, he's a survivor of the streets. And if Hollywood ever doubted his toughness, well, now they know the truth.